Good evening, everybody. I am Tom Eschen. Yes, bail reform is what we're talking about tonight following the Grammys. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is proposing to make more changes to the bail reform laws, giving more power back to the judges. These bail laws, enacted in 2019, were a cornerstone of election campaigns in the fall, candidates tying bail reform to a rise in crime. But is that true? Tonight, I speak with the governor, lawmakers, and law enforcement about the laws, but also with the people who say the law has been working and that they just need the resources to support it. At the Center for Law and Justice in Albany, Dr. Alice Green and her staff will tell you the first iteration of bail reform laws spawned stories of success.
Because of the bail reform, we're able to stay in the community, keep their jobs, take care of their families, and have an opportunity to get their lives together rather than putting them in jail.
You'll hear that echoed by formerly incarcerated people who have now become community advocates like Lukey Forbes.
What I've seen is people actually take strive in trying to fix their lives after getting into trouble and making these small mistakes.
But others, like law enforcement leaders in the region, tell a different story.
We understand that bail was being used for a different purpose, an unintended purpose. But I also say that now bail reform has some unintended consequences that we're facing every day.
A lot of these changes have created a lack of a moral obligation to follow the law, in addition to the real consequences that you have and the increased victims in communities throughout the state of New York.
They say they're seeing more repeat offenders since the laws took hold. But some statistics show bail reform is not tied to a rise in crime. Legislators met for 9 hours on a Monday in January to find a consensus and couldn't.
You guys have pointed before saying, well, there really isn't a problem. There hasn't been much of a difference, but more people are getting shot.
Reliable data doesn't sell tabloids, does it? I'll withdraw that question.
But still, Governor Kathy Hochul once again proposing a change to the laws, giving the judges more discretion.
I want judges to be held accountable for their decisions.
The changes that have been made already have had an impact. Ronnie Minter was once incarcerated. After getting out, she's since founded 2 organizations doing advocacy work in the community. But now that judges have more of an ability to look at someone's past history, she's concerned everything she's built could be gone.
People with my criminal background are heavily at risk because we have changed, we have jobs, we have livelihoods, we have things to lose now. It continues to be harmful for underserved Black communities.
We can destroy people by putting them in jail. This is an equity issue.
This latest change by the governor would rid the legislation of the least restrictive means wording. Governor Hochul saying it was contradictory and confusing for the judges.
Governor, in changing the bail law, is it just the conflicting language, or were you looking at other data regarding crime or repeat offenders that also forced some of these thoughts to change them?
I didn't need crime data to show me anything. In fact, we look at data a lot, but I never said that the bail changes are responsible for the crime rate because we had a nationwide crime rate. But that is unrelated to what we're trying to do right here, which is to correct a deficiency in state law.
Sheriff Apple wants it to be taken a step further, wanting the judges to be able to assess dangerousness when making a decision on bail. We asked him, too, if that reasoning was based on any data.
I don't ever get into percentages and numbers and everything else. I talk about real-life perspective on the streets, what we're hearing, what we're dealing with every day, what we're seeing, people calling us complaining, but there are also bad people that need to go to jail. And that's it. You know, there are bad people out there. You can send them to every program in the world. They're bad. And that's just how it is.
And Sheriff Apple says through programs within incarceration, people get the rehabilitation they need.
We started an addiction recovery center inside that correctional facility. Everybody laughed at us, thought we were out of our minds. The positive results and the lower recidivism for those that were on that tier were unbelievable.
But bail reform advocates say resources outside of incarceration are better and keep jobs and families intact, which they say does avoid more crime.
And make it a more comprehensive program, make it something that will benefit the communities. the judges have the power or the resources to place people in different programs.
That is 100% important. Yeah. There should be no way that the state can be able to sentence people to life, sentence people to any amount of time, or even take people into the process without thinking about when they're leaving that process.
They say more investment in resources like this are a way of telling a different kind of story around bail reform. And instead of changing the law, provide more support for those released without bail. And as for Governor Hochul's proposed changes, Democrats like Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie says it's time to take the focus off the bail reform laws. And then you got Republicans, some of which want to eliminate the laws entirely. All this will be up for debate by the lawmakers in the coming weeks and months.